Day one recap, man. We're so pumped up. We got one of the greats in our industry. This guy has experience both as a contractor, as a distributor, and now he's working with Honeywell, man. Honeywell's lucky to have you. We're talking to Steve Hoffman. Steve, tell our community about what you do for Honeywell now.
So I'm consulting engineer and end user account rep located in the Midwest.
Well, and Kenny, I know you've had the pleasure of seeing some of Steve's presentations, and you know, I guess I'll just ask you straight up. I know you call on a lot of engineers. What is the biggest mistake you see most consulting engineers make vis-a-vis controls?
Consulting engineers kind of view controls as a little bit of a mystery, and our industry is you know, frankly, a little bit mysterious to a lot of folks. Consulting engineers are really good with designing mechanical systems and doing load calculations and those kind of things, pretty straightforward stuff. But when it gets into controls, you got different protocols, you have different manufacturers, you have contractors. You know, it starts becoming this foggy area. And requires some expertise and some education and some understanding, and that's kind of where I come in. I try to educate consulting engineers about our marketplace and controls in general.
Well, I think that's part of the theme of the Honeywell Momentum event we're at is you've got connections, right? And, you know, Honeywell is one of the preeminent companies that's been around forever. And, you know, I think it's one of the connections that consulting engineers have. They can reach out to guys like you and Honeywell and keep you on the path. And Kenny's going to ask you about some breakout sessions now.
Well, first of all, we got to go back a little bit. In our part of the country, consulting engineers don't make mistakes.
That's right.
And I can tell you two other things about Steve. Is one, he can hit the heck out of a golf ball, okay. And if you get a chance to get him on your foursome, do it. And he does a great lunch and learn session with engineers. It really brings them on board with open protocols versus open systems. But to the point, tell us about these breakouts, because they were packed. You had 3 of them. I know you're tired, but tell us why people were so excited about your breakouts.
Well, the first breakout session, we had an ASHRAE speaker in, and we talked about ASHRAE Guideline 36-2018. And if you're not familiar with that, on June 4th of this year, ASHRAE released this guideline, 36-2018, and what it is a document that standardizes sequences of operations on the air side of equipment, VAV boxes, air handling units, single zone, multi-zone, series parallel fan-powered VAV boxes. And so again, what ASHRAE is trying to do is standardize on these sequences of operations across our industry, so the consulting engineers are all putting out similar sequences. Obviously, they can tweak them for their specific market, sure. But we get standardization. It makes things easier for control contractors. We believe ASHRAE believes it's going to also save energy, and again, it's going to standardize things across our market, which makes a lot of sense.
And then the other breakouts?
The other breakouts, we're talking a lot about open systems, open protocols, what they are, how we talk to the marketplace about that, both consulting engineers and end users. Both of those had some focus on that, as well as our new Honeywell Model 30 controllers that fit into that whole discussion.
Well, to that point then, the new Cyper Model 30, doesn't that already have some of those new sequence of operations and interesting things of that new ASHRAE standard?
Great question, Ken. Absolutely, that's part of our go-to-market approach with this new product. Is you know, these products need some templates so that you can just dump the template into the controller, and we are building those templates to match the ASHRAE 36-2018 specs sequences, so that makes it real easy for our contractors. And then if they do run into a CE spec that's based on the standard, or based on the guideline, I should say, because it's not a standard. If they have a tweak to it, no problem. Guy can use the template and just tweak it.
Awesome.
Well, very, very cool, Steve. And I tell you what, you guys want to applaud you. I know, you guys have sort of been retooling, sort of coming out with new stuff, and your IP controllers are hitting the streets. And talk to our community about IP controllers and why you think they're important. What engineers should know about IP controllers when they're specifying one?
It's all about data. And the standard Niagara framework architecture has gotten to the point where end users are requiring more information out of our field controllers, our controllers that are controlling VVA boxes and air handling units. And it's getting to the point where that backnet or LAN wired bus just doesn't, that pipe isn't big enough to push the data through that our end users, our large end users, are asking for. So that's part of the whole push towards the IP controller. Now we have an IP controller, that network is now IP. I can push a lot more data through it. And so now I can gather a lot more information. I can do more analytics at the edge. I can do a lot of things that the marketplace is asking for. And we're pretty excited about this product because we think we may have leapfrogged some of our competitors a little bit with the technology that's in this controller.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if you want to get somebody like you to come to town and you're a consulting engineer out there and need some counseling, what's the best way to do it?
The best way to do it is talk to your local Honeywell rep, and then they will get somebody from our CE team involved, or they might be able to handle it themselves. You don't know.
You got some good folks.
We'll figure it out, right?
And if you don't know who your local Honeywell rep is, you can just look for your local Honeywell distributor. And if you don't have a local Honeywell distributor, www.stromquist.com, and we'll hook you up. Steve, man, thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.